Mrs. Lancaster, could I get a roll call, please?
Sure thing, Mr. Barton. Mr. Pajaro. Or postpone. Ms. Devon. Absent. Mr. Foster.
I'm present.
I'm also present. Mr. McLaughlin.
Present.
Mr. Piper.
Present.
Okay. Mr.
Mr.
Pajaro.
Pajaro, are you present?
Present.
Thank you.
Okay. And Pledge of Allegiance. Right on time, buddy. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yesterday I had to take off. All right. Subject C, approval of the agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented. That's support. Okay, Nick and Cord. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Subject to citizens.
I have none.
We have none. Any written communication, Ms. Lancaster?
Nope.
All right. New business, Mrs. Duvall. Subject A, the 2026 and 27 budget presentation.
So in front of you guys, the first one that we're going to take a look at is, it says the final budgets. And it should have some inserts inside for you. So we're going to start in the front. On the first page, you will see where we have our 24-25, where we ended up with the final actual audited. And then going towards your right, you'll see for the 25-26 school year, we have our original budget, the amended that happened in December, January timeframe. And then the final budget is what we're presenting, or I'm presenting today. The revenue stayed pretty much flat. If you look at your first insert, I broke down things a little bit better because there was lots of questions the last time I presented. So hopefully this will help explain a little bit. Some of the questions that I got before was related to how the taxes are broken down into the budget. So on here, you will see that the first column lists the taxes or the expenditure, what it is. And then your next column is what was presented to you in December. And then the very last column is what is being presented today. And so the middle column reflects the change, if there is a change. So our, what is in, the first one is the local taxes, which is our property taxes, and then the bank interest. And then the others is it's the preschool tuition, cub care, transportation, rent, athletic entry fees, gate receipts, and miscellaneous income. So that we're staying flat. In reference to last year, it was 5.8 million. So it's down a little bit, and but nothing substantial. Next, we have our state revenue, and this is the bulk of our revenue that we get from the state, because this is the 22A and 22B. It is based on our per pupil, how many pupils we have, how many students, and you'll see that for the dollar amount that we get from the state minus because our taxes are already taken account up on top. So the additional funding that we get from the state is the $2,951 per pupil for 22A. And we had 1361.26 kids. And so that gives you the 4 million. And then 22B is also, it's not exactly divided up. So there's not like an exact $2,951. It's a rounded number, but it is based on the per pupil, and that gives us 4.8. So that makes up the 8.8 million. Our state aid for 31A, which is our at-risk funding for at-risk kids, which is also basically a per pupil. We got 1.1 million, and we did have some carryover from the year before of the 355,000. The state aid for 51C is another large one that we get for the special education. And they do what's called a true up, and it takes the state like 2 to 3 years in order to make the calculation. So this is actually from a few years ago. They're always several years behind, which is no big surprise. Next you have your state matching grants, which totals 2.3. And that's all the little grants that we apply for. I say little, but they add up to a lot of money. CTE grants, your 147s are your UAAL. So those are like the retirement accounts where the state subsidizes. Those actually were reduced this past year, and the state, that's how we got the additional $200 per pupil. So really it was just a card game. They took it from one bucket and moved it to another bucket. They were just shuffling the funds. This is also our SRO grant. So our resource gentlemen, and like 35M, our visual arts, those grants are all looped into that. We were at 13.5 million for prior year, and this year we're about 13.3. And then federal grants is where we took the hugest hit, and we took the big hit last year also because of all the ESSERs being gone. We were down to the title funds. We had the Filter First Healthy Hydration, the DOJ, that is our the lockout system grant, and then our Medicaid revenue. And that basically, prior year it was 1.1 million. We're down to 400,000.
Is that gonna go down again next year, or is it gonna
Well,
stay steady?
We're gonna lose the Filter First because it's done.
Okay.
We'll
Well,
lose those two. The titles, hopefully, those will grow.
Yeah.
Is our goal.
Possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is a state allocation where they base it on our at-risk kids. Next you have from our intermediate school district funding. So this is our county special education tax and our tech millage. So which gives us the total revenue of 2.6. And if probably easier for are you guys good with working off of this? Is this making sense? Okay. So our expenditures, I broke them down based on how the different categories. So salaries, I'm estimating 8.7, or actually 8.8 rounded up. We did have a decrease due to some vacant positions. We decreased what I initially had in December due to vacant positions. However, the flip side of it is it increased our purchase services because we had to fill those positions with EduStaff employees. So a lot of this is just moving in between the categories because we couldn't leave a classroom empty. We had to put somebody in it. Also no high school counselor. So that was a decrease. Your benefits is everything associated with your salary. So that is your healthcare, your FICA, your retirement, optical, dental, all the little pieces that go in. And due to healthcare increases, I have increased that 112,000. The purchase services, so these are, like I said, the EDU staff is increased. This is also workshops, conferences, software licenses, repairs and maintenance, your trash removal, your utilities, which all of our utilities went up drastically. So I'm increasing how much we had for purchase services by the 788,000 to give us the 3.4 for purchase services. Supplies and materials, that is essentially anything that's needed for the buildings. It can be, it's also our buses are in there, our uniforms, the gas, the oil for the buses, any teaching supplies. There's also some curriculum items in here. The Chromebooks are in here because they don't fall into capital outlay, because capital outlay is a item that is over $5,000 and it goes on our fixed assets. And because of the price of what the Chromebooks are, they're not depreciable because due to the dollar amount that they are. So those are in supplies and materials. And we did do, I was looking for Zane. We did do our normal Chromebooks, and then we did the high school. So we did a lot, yeah. And then the rest of the smart boards and whatnot, we're all part of that piece. So I did decrease the capital outlay because a lot of that moved into supplies and materials. So kind of we're shuffling things around to get it to the right category. The other items are your dues, your fees, a lot of miscellaneous expenses, athletic competitions, kind of just like miscellaneous items is what's in there. So we didn't spend much in that, 600,000. So that's why I decreased that by 800,000. So all in all, it was a decrease of 109. So I have us ending at the 21 million, 21.2 million, which should put our ending fund balance at 5.4, which it is a decrease of 700,000 from before, but these are all estimates because we're not done with the books or anything, and we won't have the finals until after the audit. And there should be a little room because if you remember last year, I didn't pad enough, and I was going for the actual end dollar amount, and I was $80,000 short. So I had to. We're not supposed to ever be in the negative for our expenditures versus the budget. All right. So that is a breakdown for the general fund. If we go to page number 4, we have our food service fund. I think I'm doing okay for time. You guys got questions? You can always ask later. So food service fund, we should end up for revenue at 1.57, almost 1.6. Expenditures, I have us down at 1.535, which is a difference of 35,000. We did not spend a whole lot this year from the food spend down.
That was gonna be my question.
But we're gonna be spending it next year. So when I go to next year's budget, I'll explain, I'll go through all that. For the most part, what she had bought, she needed to replace a bunch of racks that were kind of caving in, that hold cans and whatnot, just being old. Small wares, which consist of in her world, small wares are pots, pans, knives, cutting boards, can openers. She did buy portable freezer, so not a whole lot. Most of that's salaries.
Portable freezer is the small one, not the trailers.
No,
Oh, yeah.
nope, the trailers, yeah. The trailers are something different. And we rent those and they're about 50,000. Each trailer's like 50,000 for the summer. So,
Wow.
next page is our sinking fund. And sort of the same thing. Our final budget revenue was just over 1 million. Total expenditures, 589,000, which leaves us, we're going to be putting back into the sinking fund 420,000. And I turn it off, this little guy. Where you got it? I know it's hard to see, sorry.
Look at how old I'm getting. I have to
I
hold it
know.
this far.
I tell you, that is the smallest font you could have found.
I actually enlarged it, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes. So it kind of just talks about some of our projects that we did and how much we spent on them. So we actually have only spent 289, I rounded up a little bit. 289 so far. There's probably a little bit, a couple 100,000 that's gonna come in, that's Jody spent, that I don't have the bills yet for. Wherever Jody is. And so if in fact he doesn't have anything, the bottom yellow highlighted, the 2.356 is technically what is 100% in the sinking fund. And don't worry, I'll explain to you how he's gonna spend it.
Reading my mind.
Don't worry, hang tight. Let's finish this guy up and then I'll tell you how he's gonna spend it. All right, next page is gonna be the recreation fund. This one has gone down. There was a lot that was spent out of recreation fund. Revenue is just short of 700,000. Expenditures was 960, which would put us in a deficit of 262. That's just decreasing our recreation fund. We still have a fund balance of 548,000 in there. Some of the things that she did, that the recreation fund did, was the outside track, the coating of the outside track. The high school gym floor, that was 16,000. The middle school gym floor was 21,000. Sealing of windows and the bricks, just like around the outside, was 45,000. And a pool cleaner, because we needed a new pool cleaner, was $7,000. So that was essentially everything in there. And then the last page is the student activity fund, which is student activity fund. So what that means is the students raise money, and money that they raise, it goes into this fund, and they are only allowed to withdraw the amount of money that's in the fund. So we'll get a true balance once we're done auditing it. Let's go to the new one. So the next one is the proposed budget. So revenue, for the most part, stayed completely flat with the prior year. There is based on taxes in the homes, I feel pretty confident that the tax base will stay the same, and hopefully we'll continue to work on more grants. We do lose the SRO grant. We will lose the 33, which is the music visual arts. The 35M was literacy supports, and then we're going to be wrapping up the DOJ, which is the COPS grant, which is the lockout system.
So currently, the SRO grant only pays 25% right now, or
Half.
50? Is it half?
Yeah.
Okay. I know it goes down
Yeah, so we,
for each year or something like that.
right, so we're done. I just submitted the very last
Okay.
of the, what's that?
Are we on the page 22 for the SRO grant?
Yes.
Okay.
Which I it's not listed, like, I didn't spell it out the way I did on that other one.
Thank you.
So you're fine. Grants that we are working on is a fuel transportation through Eagle. Jody found it, this grant, and I mean, I started working on that on Friday, last Friday. We're just need to get the bins for the buses, and what it is if we get it, we can replace 2 diesel buses with diesels. And they would pay for, the grant would pay for 75% of each bus, but you're only allowed to get 2 diesels. And we could also write it for electric buses. So we wrote for 6 electric buses plus the chargers, and that would pay for 100% of those. So we're in the process of finishing that grant up. Because of the fact that we are still in a deficit, this is where the Highland,
Is this different than the one that we discussed last week?
Yes.
This is in addition to?
this is in addition to.
So that's not a rental situation?
It is not a rental. And actually with, even with the other one, the 2.6 million that we got for the Michigan Clean school bus, we don't have to use Highland. We can go off on our own.
right.
Jody. That's can end up being a Jody call it. We can really do it. Financially, no, we cannot afford to use Highland. We cannot afford to go through that lease company. I mean, we're still, financially, no, it's not right. So we're looking into other things. If Jody says he can do it, then that would be the wise thing to do.
Okay.
Because we don't have the funding to do it for the lease company. Grants that we did submit already was the fresh fruit and vegetable, the 12E, which is the school infrastructure, and the 27H E-rate. So we have grants already that we're starting to work on for next year. Hopefully we'll start to hear something. For expenditures, what I did was I took, for the most part, a 2 to a 5% increase depending on whether or not it was a utility versus a salary. And then that's how I built out the budget for the general fund. So I do have us in a negative. Hopefully we will not be as far. I have us at 1.5 in the negative for our beginning original budget. And if you remember when Ron Green was here, he talked about the fact that when you start off your first budget, it's way off. By December, you have a better idea. We know what our federal funding is. We know what our state funding is. We start to dial it in a little bit. So then it gets better. And then for your final budget, it gets better too. So remember that conversation with Ron Green.
Were we that far off last year at this time?
Yep.
About $1.5 million off. Okay.
Something like that.
I wasn't here, I'm just asking.
Nope, you're fine. All good. So that would be for the general fund. For food service, I have this revenue with the same, the 1.5. And then when it comes to the expenditures, this is where we have for North, they're going to be getting the serving cold coolers. That's going to be 40,000. Soaked gets 1 serving cold cooler counter for 22,000. The high school gets the serving lines inside plus outside for the hot, cold, and sandwich spreads, and so that's the 266,000. And then the cafeteria furniture for the high school is 135,000.
And this is where the spend out.
This is where the spend out comes in, correct. On the next page, we have the sinking fund, and have the estimated revenue of the 932,000, the expenditures of 1.4, and Jody is going to be doing lots of roof repairs. We also have to do the high school AC chiller over the math wing. It's down, so we're going to be RFP in that probably next week. The seal coating of the parking lots, they have to be resealed before they have to be replaced. And then we also have the completion of the lockout system that'll be finishing up in next year. And as always, we always have to replace carpeting in these rooms, in some of the rooms. So each building gets some carpeting.
We still going with Dearborn?
Yes.
Question.
Yeah.
Jody, is there any
We let,
concern with any of the sidewalks at all?
I got rid of them.
So, a number of them over here, gym obviously.
Yep.
So area, the football complex, there's that piece in front of the stands. And I think that's all we were gonna touch on. We're gonna walk schools for safety walk. I think there's a number of areas of soap that we have.
Okay.
For safety.
So are these things that we planned on doing some last year and then,
Just in,
okay.
on the next page, we have the recreation fund. So I have the revenue estimated at 700,000. Expenditures at 990,000, which does deplete the fund balance a little bit more of 283, but it would bring the ending fund balance to 445. And this would include the new furniture in the waiting room area. We did move a little bit quick on this one. They came out and gave us an estimate. This is the same company that we used for the cafe furniture, cafeteria furniture. So
I'm seeing how it.
This is what was on board docs this week.
this is what was on board docs this week. And they
Send
came
an
out
email to everybody
again
with
last week at the end after our meeting, and they came out and gave us to double check the measurements to make sure everything would fit. And then they gave us the quote on Friday, and they said that they could only guarantee that quote until July 1st, and then the price is going to go up. So I apologize for not saying anything last week, but I didn't realize it was going to move that fast, nor did I realize there's going to be a price increase. So that's what's in the recreation budget to use for her spend down. And then the very last page is the student activity fund.
Is that everything done?
That's everything.
Does anybody, any board members have any questions? for Deb?
528, look at her.
I know, right?
If that's not the most Deb situation,
Mrs. Evans,
like,
any questions?
No, you can email me.
Yeah, I will. 'Cause I
Yes.
have a cell phone and look at everything.
You got it.
Mr. Boudreaux, any questions?
Actually, I did have one. I want to go back to, and I apologize, when you said federal revenue, we had the 433 left. And Shane kind of touched upon it. My question was, will that number be taken away from us if nothing happens the next year? I mean, does that number 433 stay for the following year? Or will it change because the state does something different?
It could, well, that's federal, so it could change based on whatever the federal government does.
And in changing, that 433 number,
Could go up or it could go down.
that's okay. Thank you.
And, yeah, and the same thing, I mean, honestly, all of the state and federal fluctuates based on whatever their budgets are. So this is where it's tough because their budget's not even done, so.
no.
Do we have an over/under on when it's going to be done this year? I'm
No.
very
Wow.
excited. It's very excited.
It needs to be done.
State budget
Ours
last.
has to be done, but theirs,
Next.
Yeah.
January 15th.
Some districts are budgeting an additional $250 per student for like a per pupil or like a 200. So I had asked the other districts too, like, did you put that into your budget? Because that's the guesstimate right now, is that there'll be an additional. So we did not do that. We chose to leave it status quo. So that if we do get 200 or 250 per student, it'll be like a surprise. Yes.
Mr. Piper, any questions? Last questions? Ms.
nope,
Lancaster?
you answered all mine.
All right, with that being said, we're gonna move on to, 4 oral communications, subject A, citizens, anything, all right, subject B, board and administration, Amy, would you like to follow up with anything? Before we close this meeting?
No, I'm good. Oh,
Okay,
wait.
Deb, anything? All right, board members, anybody have anything to say before we close this meeting?
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Those, the
great job, Deb,
extra
thank you,
breakdowns
yeah.
were
Yeah,
really,
thank you.
really nice.
Appreciate it.
very easy to follow.
don't know if that was for me, but I appreciate it if it was. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate any feedback. I mean, if there's something else you guys want to see, I have no problem doing it. I see the numbers every day. So in my world, it's
very helpful.
so
Very
Yeah.
helpful breaking all of that out.
Beautiful.
Very
Oh.
good job.
Okay, so subject, 5, subject A, the adjournment. I need a motion to move the special board meeting be adjourned. Jackie. And Corey. Any discussion? None being heard? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0 at 5:31. Do you guys want to take 2 minutes? Does anybody need to use the restroom before we start? Anybody? We can go right into it? Okay, fair enough. All right. All right, Mrs. Lancaster, can I get a roll call, please?
Absolutely can. Mr. Barton?
Mr. Pajara,
Mrs. Evans? Mr. Foster?
Present.
Present. Mr. McLaughlin?
Present.
And Mr. Piper?
Full board. Pledge of allegiance. Did you start it at my 3?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, subject C, the approval of the agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Nikki. Nick. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. It's nice to say that, isn't it? Okay, Mrs. Lancaster, using comments from citizens.
No.
Any written communication?
Nope.
None. Okay, we're gonna move on to number 3, report of the superintendent. Mrs. G, superintendent updates.
All right, I'll start with what's in the content here. Joanna Syke was resigned as our high school science teacher. And then, I have a lot of updates. I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to go as fast as I can. So we have been doing lots of things with our bond. Deb and I meet, and Jody and Karen joins in sometimes too with Kelsey and our Barton Mallow team. There were postcard mailers, fact sheets mailed out to over 4,000 homes last week. And then in addition to that, we put more fact sheets and cards. Miss Wendell's and Mr. Abrams passed them out at the front of the line for the food service giveaway. So the day that we had the 1,000 students that we were able to feed. And they were able to talk to our families about any questions that they had. Obviously careful to say, can't out there saying vote yes, obviously, but Kelsey said for them to say, we would appreciate you not forgetting to vote on August 4th while they were handing the cards. So that went really well. Kelsey made up a what's cooking flyer that will be going in all of the meals starting next week. She put like a what's cooking on the menu to kind of go along with the food that's being passed out, make it cute and fun, attention seeking. We have some social media pushes that you'll start to see, those of you that are on Facebook. We have lots of things. I'll be calling on people, staff, even though they're home for the summer, to do a quick, have their sibling or neighbor or spouse videotape them from their regular phone and regular clothes talking about different things. And there's like prompts that Kelsey has. So I'll be having some people do those to be putting, because I don't want it just my face and my voice. We need to mix it up. I said that to Kelsey's like, I think you should say, I'm like, no, can we like mix it up a little bit? Like, I think it's important to have different voices. And she was all about it. So we'll be doing that. I want to give a shout out to Jossie, the custodian over at SOT. She put together some amazing Google Drives for me to send over to Kelsey, where she has been collecting every time it's raining or even during the winter with the snow, capturing lots of pictures and rain coming through the hallways at SOT or in the classrooms, or when the classrooms flood. She's like super quick before cleaning it up to take the pictures. So I'm going to be posting, she put together what did she call it? A carousel, a photo carousel. So she made a little thing. Kelsey is brilliant with doing that stuff. I'll be posting that on social media here probably tomorrow with a little blurb and I asked her if I could play like Sarah McLachlan in the background.
Like ASC.
In the arms of, yep, exactly. And she was like, yeah, we should probably not do that. I was laughing so hard. I'm like, it's terrible. I'm like, it's so bad how our kids have to walk through buckets of water. But so I asked Jody and his team, asked Jody to let his other custodians know, like, we need more pictures of the other buildings as well as the rec center. So they're working on that right now. So the rest of the operations is working on those. So we'll be able to post those photo carousels for all of our buildings. Also, we have a letter going out on July 3rd from the principals that was sent to all of them. They could put it in Infinite Campus and schedule it to go out because obviously they'll be off work at the time. But there's a letter that was drafted from Kelsey that the principals can tweak to make it their own, put their own little personality in it. But those are going to go out to the community from the principal stating like just the why and like what the bond is about and why they would love the bond because they need it for the buildings coming from the principal's perspective. So that is all that. And then absentee ballots came out today. And I just learned about 30 minutes ago that Mrs. Susan LeBeau was our first yes vote. So she turned her absentee ballot in and they confirmed she was first. So absentees today was the first day. So here we go. Okay. All right. The next thing is I'll save the best for last. Okay. So SOAT Playground, I would like to give a shout out to the ISD, our partnership with the early childhood staff. There's a really cool playground and some new play equipment going in at SOAT. I encourage you to go take a drive and go look at it for our littles. It's not specific to just one particular class. Like it's a shared playground space for everybody at SOAT. The only part that we had to do was put the fencing in so the littles aren't running all the way to that back subdivision there. And the SOAT staff don't have to herd little baby cats like to try to get them in. So we had no problem agreeing to put the fence up because they're paying for the large expense. They have a grant and some other things to put the playground in. So we're grateful for that partnership. So that is in the works right now going on. So if you want to go over there and look at that. We're still finalizing all of our new hires. We're updating different contracts right now, almost done with those. I talked with a gentleman named Wayne Blink today. He is interested. He is a veteran and he would like to use the recreation or the bus garage for veterans food drive and helping local veterans that are hungry. And he asked if we have any space that he could utilize. So this is very new. I think he said he talked with you, Shane. Okay. So I'll be having conversations obviously with Ms. Epler and Mr. Dunn about that to see, because it's not just like a one-time situation. He wants like a home within the district to do that. So we will do.
I think it's a great opportunity for our school to be a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing.
You'll notice on social media, those of you on Facebook, I had asked our principals to please do an excessive push of all of our new hires. I asked for them to be announced individually on each page so they could be shared out. So our families, when open house comes out in August, people are able to put a face to a name and they're seeing as we do our hires throughout the year, throughout the summer, they're seeing like, oh, who's who, or if somebody moves in the summer or goes, from one grade to another or whatever it is. Nobody has to guess and wonder. In the fall, we had a really nice compliment from lots and lots of families about how soon we put our open house dates out. That went over very well. So families can plan their vacations, especially because some families weren't the happiest that we started school before Labor Day. And I get that. I totally respect that too. There's differences. It's like kind of six, one half dozen the other, like who wants to get out sooner and who wants to stay later. It's just, anyway, but we got our calendar out, so that's out. All of that has been notified to the public. And then the last and biggest thing. So I will start by giving a big shout out to the lovely neighbors across the street in the Marshall Field subdivision, specifically Mr. Foster, Mr. Henry, Mr. Barton, those of them that have kids or no kids, but just happen to be there for the fallout. But there was a situation, I'll leave it at that, in the subdivision that actually ended up landing in their lap that turned out to be quite possibly a miracle. there is a gentleman who owns the first house on the left in Marshall Fields, known as his pool house. Mr. Josh Morris owns Detroit Quality Staffing. Detroit Quality Staffing is a very, very known staffing company. And they're doing a very nice job with the company, so much so that they just purchased 3 other companies. So now he is changing the umbrella of his business, and this is important that you hear me tell you that part, to AXVOR. Ax apparently in some form means industrial, and then vor, he's a Harry Potter fan, and that means movement. So AXVOR is what he's calling it, so industrial movement. And that oversees the 3 or 4 companies that he owns. Mr. Morris also owns a couple cars within the NASCAR trucking races. He runs the MIS for the state, extremely involved with lots of different things. He has his own nonprofit. Our hot rods are here. Can you tell? I love it. So he is super great at all of his nonprofits. He also helps veterans. He is from River Rouge, so he helps out River Rouge schools. When the incident took place at Marshall Fields involving some of our Jefferson High School students, they did nothing bad, by the way. Mr. Morris was advocating for the kids and was like, oh my gosh, everything's fine. We're good. They figured it all out. Misunderstanding. Mr. Henry did some work for Mr. Morris on his house for the trenching. So they kind of got to talking. And he said, you know, my stepdaughters go to Jefferson schools and I would love, you know, to help out the schools. Let me know if you guys need anything. Well, that sounds kind of cliche. Like, what does that mean? You know, like, you want to volunteer for something or, you know. So Mr. Henry and Mr. Foster, they all spoke to this gentleman and said, let me put you in contact with our superintendent. So we had a meeting about 3 weeks ago, no, about a month ago with Shane and Mr. Henry here with Mr. Morris, and just kind of like blanket statement of like, he let us know what he does for River Rouge schools and that he'd like, you know, to talk with a team that I could put together, and he will bring his team and we'll kind of do like a lunch and learn and kind of go over what his company is capable of helping Jefferson schools with. So that meeting was Tuesday. Thank you. It was on Tuesday. So it's bad. And it's worse when there's no kids here. It's worse. So he was here with his team and we got a bunch of stuff and fed everybody and whatever. But the first thing that Mr. Morris addressed was, can you tell me, because we're friends on Facebook now, and he said, what was happening with the box truck? And he started laughing and he was like, you drove a box truck? I go, yeah, I almost passed away. And he was like, what is happening? And I'm like, the thing was like, I drove the box truck on Facebook Live. No, that sounds terrible. I was not driving on Facebook Live. I went Facebook Live after I arrived at SOT. And I drove the box truck from here to Temperance, to Shalinos, however you pronounce it, to get our food, our produce when we needed to replenish everything for SOT for the next day. We were working at SOT until midnight. It was a big evening. And of course it was a torrential downpour. So I was soaking wet. So Mr. Morris had grasped his attention and he was like, well, he leaned over to one of his team members that were there, Mr. Gorno. And he was like, Mr. Gorno, do we even use our box truck in Philadelphia? And he was like, I already wrote it down. Josh, no. And he was like, but I'm not giving it to him until we wrap it. And I'm like, what? What's happening? He is donating a box truck to us, but before he donates it, he's having it wrapped where it says Jefferson Schools with our bear head on it. Isn't that so cool? So he's taking care of that. So we'll get a brand new, because I told him that when I got in the box truck, I was like, Mr. Morris, I'm chubby. And when I got in it, the seat leans to the left. I said, my whole body was like, I thought I was going to fall out of the car. So that was the first one. Then we start talking about how, you know, we have goals of increasing enrollment and getting our kids back from Triumph, et cetera, whatever. He's like, well, we need to do a backpack giveaway. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm like, what does that look like? And he's like, well, I'd like to, how many kids are there? I'm like, now we have over 1,400. I said, but I would like to purchase a backpack for every student K-12. And then in the backpacks, we'll do like a big event where they can literally go and like trick or treat to get all of the school supplies and load their backpacks. And I'm like, amazing. So then Mr. Gorno says, oh, and just so you know, what we like to do is like, we'll fill 300 to 400 backpacks full of like the Dr. Dre Beats headphones to encourage our high school kids to come. Those are like $200. Or like a bunch of Kohl's gift cards, they said, for back to school shopping for our kids. So I was like, what? So it was incredible. And then he's like, I want to do that whole event. Let's pick a date. He's like, book a DJ, get bounce houses from Simpsons because he's friends with the Simpsons. He was like, get the bounce houses. Also, get like 3 or 4 food trucks. I'm going to pay for all of the food. I don't want any families having to come out of pocket to pay for anything. Yeah. And I'm like, what? And he's like, and Amy, we need to do this at least like a week before your bond. And he's like, we'll push it earlier so families don't buy school supplies. I don't want them to buy their school supplies. So I'll have them all there and we'll do it on your football field and da, da, da. So that is going to be, mark your calendars, July 30th. Okay. From 4 to 7 p.m. That huge event. So it'll be big, and there's gonna be a dunk tank, and I'm gonna go in the dunk tank and all the things. It'll be so fun. So in addition to that, we got up, we started walking the high school. That was part of the plan, that he wanted to go on a tour, kind of see the lay of the land. He had no idea that we had the construction trades and the welding and the auto shop, and he was blown away. And as I shared previously, he has cars that race in the NASCAR. He runs MIS. So he looked at Smitty, happened to be there with one of our students working on a truck. And he said, can we like bring our cars here? And he was like, yes, absolutely. And he was like, well, I happen to have like 3 trucks in my parking lot that the engines are great. They work fantastic, but the beds have some like rotting out of the truck beds. He's like, but you guys have welding students. They could weld those and fix it with no problem. He goes, and Amy, actually, one of the trucks is like a big heavy duty truck. And, Jody could put a snowplow on the front and make it one of your snowplow trucks for the school. And I'm like, what? He's like, so I'm going to go ahead. He goes, do you want those? And if you could have seen Mr. Smith's face, he was like, yes. He was like, absolutely. We'll fix it. We'll do whatever we're going to do. He was like smiling so big. It was awesome. And he was like, well, I would love to bring our cars here. And then I know you can't take money from me personally, but I would love to donate that money from the labor back into the auto shop program. So Smitty was just like, oh my gosh. And Luke Mazarin happened to be there at the time. And he was like, that's really fantastic, sir. And he was shaking his hand. It was an awesome moment. He asked Smitty if they'd like to come and see the cars at MIS, and just, it was awesome. So then we went into construction trades room, and he was like, oh my gosh, my dad would love this. I'm like, oh really? I'm like, your dad is into this stuff? He's like, yeah, he's a builder. I'm like, oh wow, that's amazing. He's like, do you guys have like big goals for this program? Like, what is it? And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, our biggest goal is to do the Build a House program, like Bedford and Monroe. I'm like, he goes, why haven't you done it? And I'm like, well, we don't have the funding. I'm like, obviously you can't just say, oh yeah, we're going to buy all the things. I can't even imagine going to Deb being like, Deb, I need countertops, I need faucets, and I need drywall. And she would be like, oh God. Yeah. And he's like, so what happens? How does it work? I'm like, well, we have to buy the property and then we build a house. The kids would build a house mixed with the welding kids and all of our trades kids, because over 50% of our students go on to trades. So like Mr. Abrams was talking all about that. And we have so many more trades kids than we do college bound kids at Jefferson. And he was like, well, he stops dead in the hallway. I was so embarrassed because you guys know me. I get so emotional. I'm so excited. I got all choked up and he goes, well, that's the first thing we have to do. And I'm like, what are you saying? And he was like, we need to build a house at Jefferson. And I'm like, are you being dead serious right now? So I called Miss Wallace today, our construction trades teacher, and I thought she was going to cry on the phone. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, Mr. Morris wants to front the money for all of the supplies so we can start the process of building a house. And she was like, are you kidding me right now? So she was so excited. So she's been working with the people at Bedford that do it, because that's where she coaches at right now. So she has been, I know there's not an option right now. Yeah. Yes. So she is working on all of those things. So that is one of the things he's doing. And then also we come back to the cafeteria, and I know that I've said this before and you guys have heard me, but the kids at the high school have been feverishly asking for coffees to be served in the morning or at lunch or both. Daily, Mrs. G. Yeah, Mrs. G, we don't want it one day a week. That's not special to us. We want it every day. We want to do it, part of the marketing program, right? So, and they're like, Mrs. G, Starbucks is so expensive. And I'm like, yes, it is. Okay. So you all know, or you recall, in the high school cafeteria where there's that old, where it used to look the credit union. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's that window, literally like a bank window. So Jody, not we, Mr. Dunn was with us, and he is going to blow that window out and get us like a roll-up window. So like a little drive-through. And so I called Mr. Boss. Mr. Boss is, just to remind you, is our self-contained teacher for our students with special needs. He is going to run the coffee bar in the morning because I wanted to make sure I didn't step on his toes, because he was going to start what Mrs. Holdren does at the middle school with on the little coffee on a cart, but that was just for staff. This is for staff and students. He was so excited. He was like, absolutely. I didn't buy anything excessive right now. He's like, that'd be great. I said, if you can run it in the morning for first hour, then Mr. Janot's class and the marketing kids for that 2-hour block, instead of just slushies, now we can do store slushies, coffees. He was thrilled. So all of that worked out. Then in addition, one of my favorite things is we went to the rec, and that classroom that's on the left when you walk in, it's also known as like the birthday party room. Okay, so that room there, he is going to give us, when we first met with Mr. Morris, we gave him some polos, Jefferson polos. And he was like, well, where'd you guys get these from? And I'm like, All Heart Athletics, have you heard of it? It's on the road. And he's like, I just have a question, because he's huge into entrepreneurship and business and marketing, and most importantly, ROI, return on investment. So he's like, why are you guys at Jefferson not doing this yourself? And I'm like, well, with all due respect, I'm like, an embroidery machine is thousands of dollars, and heat presses and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, oh, okay. So he brought that back up. Mr. Gorno, I'm sorry, I'm pointing to the seat where he was sitting at. Mike Gorno, his title is President of Solutions, and their chief of staff said that they were going to start embroidering their own Ax4 and DQS shirts. And Josh made a joke, and he was like, of course, he did not do any of it and did not take the class to learn how to use this humongous machine. And he was like, Amy, I just bought this machine a couple months ago. And he's like, it's brand new, never been touched. It was $12,000. He's like, can I just bring that to you guys? Would you want the embroidery machine? And I was like, yes, please. That's amazing. And he's like, you can do blankets and visors and hats. And it does the 3D embroidery that's super popular with kids right now and all of the things. So that, and then he's going to buy us the heat presses and the first inventory of all the shirts, so we can start selling them, that we don't have to sell sweatshirts for $80 like some neighborhood stores. And I'm not bashing any of our stores that help us and spread our school spirit, but we need to make things a little bit more affordable for our community. And so now that store, the shirts and stuff will be made during the 2-hour block at marketing. Mr. Janot is all on board. Mr. Abrams called him, and they're good to go. And then it'll be inventory will be there. And then Mrs. Epler is going to staff the store from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. when the rec is open. So all of us in the community can go into the store and purchase spirit wear. If there's a Friday night game or a volleyball game, you can go in and, oh, I need a shirt real quick. We'll have it available for our people at a much more affordable rate, right? So, and then we get the return, and then that will help us teach our kids return on investment. The money you get in, we're able to purchase more shirts and inventory. With that, we're also going to employ, if you guys remember Woohoo Nolan, who just graduated, class of 2026. Nolan's looking for employment. I just spoke with his mom yesterday. He loves to fold. I don't even think I shared this with you yet, Deb. He loves to fold and inventory clothes by size, and he would be fantastic for that to work. And so I explained to her we might have like a part-time, opportunity for him at the rec to, when we get the clothes in, to stock the shelves and label everything by size. And so she was like, that's fantastic. We have those machines, the folding boards where you fold. So we'll get him that. So then we come back here and he says, okay, I was like super overwhelmed. And I said, what happens? Like, what is in it for you? It's the marketing side. So this is where all of you come in. So I just want to make sure that the board is informed, as well as the community, that because of the promises and the amazing amounts that Mr. Morris is going to do with us, and the most important thing you need to know is that on July 23rd board meeting, he and his team are coming here to present to all of you, and you'll get to meet him. I also invited Mr. Henry to join us because Mr. Foster, Mr. Barton are already here, but I would also like to acknowledge Mr. Henry on that evening, because he was the person that actually called and said, hey, Amy, I need you to meet this guy. So they're going to come on July 23rd to meet everybody. Mr. Morris will present a contract to all of us that I'm going to sign that indicates that he is going to give us $1 million. He is going to give us up to $125,000 a year for 10 years for use of whatever we want, for all of the things that our committee wants to do for kids that is blocked by federal funds that we can't use it for. So he said his only ask is the marketing piece, because he said donations, I'm only allowed to give this much. Marketing, I'm allowed, it's endless. I can give whatever I want. And I said, okay, so talk to me with the marketing. River Rouge does this for this as well in exchange, of course. But DQS or Axfor, his team is going to get together this week and decide, because our high school gym floor is getting redone this Friday. Redone meaning refinished or whatever. Yes. Okay. I don't want we just redid it. I don't want you thinking we're redoing it again. Just to finish. So we told him that we would need to know for Friday if he wants his logo to be shared out as Axfor or DQS. So we are going to put whichever one he wants on 2 corners of the gym floor. Yes. And then also there was an area that when we walked out to the football field that he asked if that was appropriate. He was extremely humble and said, if there's anywhere that you don't feel comfortable, no problem at all. He was like, I'm just sharing with you kind of like where it is at for River Rouge. In the front of the high school where Mr. Barton and all your people helped redo that front of the gym entrance there, that J-Claw, because that's obviously not part of our branding anymore. We're removing that to just the bear head. We're going to have that removed. And then he has a new wrap that he wants to put up there where it'll still say Jefferson High School with our Jefferson bear head. So people can see it from the street, but on the one side of that, we'll have DQS in the front of the gym. So the community can see that coming in. I spoke with Coach Boudry. He said for us, we have that Shark Tank that paints, at graduation, where it painted the 2026 for the kids, and it paints our bear head for every home football game. We are going to have that paint DQS on the football field for all of our football games as well. So that way it's there to blast that out on his behalf. And so we'll work on all of that, the advertising, and he gets audited. So his auditors will come here and ride around our campus to make sure that his money is being spent for marketing. And then it's a write-off for him. So we are going to be signing a contract with Mr. Morris for over $100,000 a year for the next 10 years for $1 million. Oh, and the greenhouses. Our kids are going to have greenhouses, and they're going to grow at the high school and at North Elementary. The staff will take care of it, of the WHO. One of his stepdaughters is super passionate about plants. So she wants to be one of the people to help grow fruits and vegetables, and then we can give them out to the community members, because we have a lot of kiddos within our community that aren't exposed to fresh fruit and vegetables. So that was one of the things too. So the list is endless. And then the last thing to share is that yesterday I was at dinner with my husband, and it was his birthday, and I got a text message from Mr. Morris, and he said, "Hi, Amy, I have some room on Sunday, July 5th in my suite for the Chris Brown Usher concert. Would you and your staff like to join me?" And I was like, we just hit the jackpot. So there is like 10 of us from Jefferson schools going to this concert with Mr. Morris and his team. So we're super excited for that. So I'm really excited for you guys to meet him. An extremely generous guy. His story is incredible. Growing up in River Rouge, he said people that, are from where I'm from are supposed to end up dead or in prison, and he made it. And because of his story that he shared, and it's extremely passionate, I invited him to speak at our welcome back with all of our staff. When they all come back in August, he will be speaking to everybody at that event as our guest speaker. So super excited to have him.
Amazing.
Yes, that was a lot. Sorry.
That was
I had to get
every bit of it. I
Yes.
promise that.
Yes.
Great job.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, we are going to move on to subject C. B. Report of the superintendent.
Oh.
Apologies. Yeah, they have it mislabeled. Okay.
Yeah.
Subject B, board policy updates, first reading. Yep, that is still you.
Oh, I didn't even have it
Yeah,
up.
you breezed right by it.
I did. We have the following updates. Do I need to read all of these? No.
I personally don't think you need to. There's a lot, and there was not a lot of time. We do. Exactly. There's 15 board policies, and it's a lot. And to go through it right now would be very time consuming.
You would be.
It would be very, and I don't think it's appropriate to do that right now.
Make the motion to skip the readings.
Yeah, well, we don't have to do a motion to do
No.
that. It's not a reading of it, it's a review.
And they're blue because
Yeah.
they're links for
Yeah.
you guys to click.
They are. We have them on our board.
Okay.
docs.
And I apologize. That's what I assumed that was the expectation.
Yeah, so I think that we skip over that for this evening and everybody take a little, on our, when's our next board meeting?
Not till
No.
July
Okay, July.
16th.
Well, I think we reconvene and discuss it
Or
then. That gives everybody ample time.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
to let the community know
Yeah.
that we are changing, updating,
Yes.
adding some
Yeah.
policies.
We are staying current with
And if
state
they
law.
have questions, they can request information about it.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so let's move on to subject C now. Hot Rod Motorcycle Awareness and Suicide Prevention Foundation. This is actually, you were supposed to be, you were supposed to be announcing this as well.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
You were struggling. I know, I'm on a high right now.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Yes, welcome.
It is warm out there. We just got something to hand out for each one of you so you can see what we've done. And if it's okay, when we get done, get a group picture.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you. Are you Mr. Beaton?
Yes, Mr. Beaton.
You're Mr. Beaton?
Yes.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Hot Rod. I love it.
Good evening. Superintendent Amy Gee, Board of Education, President Shane Foster, school board members, and guests of Jefferson Schools. Hot Rod's Motorcycle Awareness and Suicide Prevention Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit foundation, and we are honored to be a part of your suicide prevention and mental health efforts. Tonight, we have the privilege of donating 2 suicide prevention benches to Jefferson Schools. I want to give a shout out to the Vijaro family, as we have been friends since we lived in Woodland Beach many years ago, and our children grew up together. Also, our son Rod completed his student teaching here for 2 semesters back in 1999 and 2000. Mental health is not a fad, and suicide is a major public health concern. There is an urgent reality driving the need for crisis intervention. The Center for Disease Control reported in 21 and 22, suicide was the second leading cause of death for people aged 10 to 14 in 2023. 1 in 5 U.S. high school students reported seriously considered attempting suicide in the past year. 1 in 6 reported making a suicide plan in the past year. 1 in 10 reporting attempting suicide in the past year. But there is hope and resources available, such as the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Since 988 launched in July of 2022, it's had 23,219,465 contacts, calls, texts, chats. The Lifeline connects callers with a trained counselor who can help people experiencing mental health related distress. That could be thoughts of suicide, mental health, or substance use crisis, emotional distress, and other concerns. This year, in May 10th, 770 calls were routed in Michigan and answered by a crisis counselor. The average time for a contact call to be answered was 18 seconds, and the conversation length averaged 11 minutes. A study published in May of 2025 showed that nearly 98% of callers said their crisis call helped them, and 88% said their call stopped them from taking their lives. Suicide is complicated and tragic, but preventable. The message on our bench is one of hope. Someone really does care. You are not alone. The toll-free number is displayed. Call 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline to help them connect. This lifeline is confidential, free, and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The Lifeline connects those experiencing a suicidal crisis with a trained counselor. The person will listen to the individual, gain an understanding of how their problem is impacting them, provide support, and get them the help they need. We know this message and number works. Stories have been shared with us where 2 different students sat on our bench at 2 local schools and reached out to the Crisis Lifeline number. An immediate need reached out to the Crisis Lifeline number. An immediate need for help was identified by the trained counselor. Help was contacted and follow-up was completed for the student and families, making a difference. Our benches provide hope, support, and a valuable resource to contact not only for your students, but for family members and visitors in the school district as well. If this message continues to reach out to people in the community and saves one life in this vulnerable population, we have achieved our mission. So far, we have donated benches to 20 schools, including Addison, Adrian, Airport, Brighton, Britton Deerfield, Chelsea, Clinton, Dundee, Ida, Lincoln, Manchester, Milan, Monroe, New Bedford Academy, Saline, Summerfield, Tecumseh, Wayland, Whitmore Lake High Schools, and Monroe County Community College. Also, as our foundation name reflects, we focus on motorcycle awareness. Now that summer is here, we ask you to increase your awareness while driving and help us spread the message, be aware, motorcycles are everywhere. It only takes a moment to look twice. The life you save may be a family member, friend, or neighbor. Thank you again for allowing Hot Rods to be part of your school district and providing us the opportunity to place these benches at your school. God bless all of you here today and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Keaton.
you.
Thank very much.
So sweet. In the hallway probably.
You wanna register your-
Oh, no doubt. Need you up here.
Turn that bench around. Put it up there over there. I got it, Bob.
Oh, you got it, thank you.
I got it, Bob.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you, guys. Very nice.
No.
Get everybody in here, we're gonna get this picture.
I'll stand next to you.
Where's,
Denise? Denise is right next to you. Okay.
where's Robin's Lane?
Thank you.
Thank you.
For letting us help.
Thank you all very, very much.
Go ahead and get old.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys. Right on, man. It's May this.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate you very much. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. It is.
We got to move. We'll get out of here.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't know if you want to give me five, I don't know what to do.
Make sure you didn't fall.
No, I am getting old. Yeah, I have cat like reflexes. I think we have already vetted it.
Okay.
Just on play.
Yeah, playoffs.
Yep. But we can have stuff on the stadium, banners and stuff. Yep.
You know this.
Yep. Wait, there's condensation on it.
I see that.
Yeah, you see.
It's about to be riveting.
Yeah.
Hey, that you got, no, it's, as long as you're good. I'm gonna splash it on you.
No, just run your.
Don't. I mean, it's unbelievable. That was so nice.
All right, Mr. Barton. You must have just rendered it. Okay. Move on to new business. Subject A, general fund bills. I need a motion to receive the recommendation of the committee of the whole regarding the payment of the general fund bills.
So moved.
Corey?
Sorry, who was it?
Hey, Corey, did Barb, did you support?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. All right, subject B, approval of minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes for May 2026.
Motion.
Biggie. And is that Mike? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Subject C, approval of the MHSA 2026-27 membership. I need a motion to approve the Michigan High School Athletic Association annual membership for the 2026-2027 school year. Corey? And Nick. Any discussion with that? Hearing none, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, this is the fun part. Subject D, the hiring of James DeSilvis. All right, blast from the past right there. I need a motion to approve the hiring of James DeSilvis as a middle school social studies teacher effective beginning with the 2026-2027 school year. New employee paperwork has been completed and satisfied. Is that Corey? Yep, okay. All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Welcome back to Jefferson, Mr. DeSilvis. Okay. Yeah, right. Subject E, the hiring of Kimberly DeSilvis. I need a motion to approve the hiring of Kimberly DeSilvis as a high school Spanish teacher, effective beginning with the 2026-2027 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189 1230B requirements. Mike? And Iggy. Any discussion?
What happens with the Spain trip?
Ooh, great.
Miss Perry is still teaching Spanish.
Yeah, and I'll explain in a little bit. Miss Perry hasn't left.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
explain to her.
Okay, perfect.
okay. I was like,
Yes.
what is happening? Okay, very good, thank you.
Okay. All in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Did you approve?
I did. I said yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, that was fun.
Good luck with this name.
All right. Subject F, the hiring of Adam Giamarusti. I apologize for the butchering of the
Mr.
name.
G.
Yeah, Mr. G. All right. I need a motion to approve the hiring of Adam Giamarusti as a high school science teacher effective beginning with the 2026-2027 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189 1230B requirements. Corey and Mike. Any discussion?
In the room?
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome.
Wait, hold on.
We're really
Hold on.
sorry for butchering your name.
Yes, really sorry. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I have
Okay,
to know, do you go by Mr. G?
Yeah, Mr. G. Yeah.
that is
Oh,
gonna
man, they're gonna
work
ask you if you and I are
really,
married.
really good.
Yeah.
Are you from the area?
I'm from River.
Okay, so not
Okay.
too far.
Oh,
Great.
that's where I'm from.
We're-
Oh.
I am.
All right.
Oh.
Brillhart.
Brillhart, yes.
Yeah, my name is by.
Connie?
Yep, Connie, after my name. Next door neighbors.
Oh my gosh, Stephanie and my little sister were best friends growing up. That's amazing.
Small world.
Small world.
All right. Okay. With that being said, all in favor?
Shingles.
Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Welcome, Mr. G.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Subject G, the hiring of Madison Potts. I need a motion to approve the hiring of Madison Potts as the North Elementary music teacher, effective beginning with the 2026-2027 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189-1230B requirements. Jackie. And was it Nick? Any discussion?
This, the part, or the substitute, the
Yes. So
long-term
we had her
sub
on
we
as
had?
we had her on as a long-term sub while she was completing her student teaching. Just decided to go that course of action, really make sure she was the right fit for our kids, we were the right fit
Nice.
for her. And so we chose to move forward with the hiring.
She
And
was-
she will be teaching 5th grade, band and music at the middle school as well. So she's gonna be
Oh,
working
she's doing both.
both buildings.
Is Madison here?
She's not.
She didn't? Okay, great.
I have to say that I have a child at North and she was very well received. My child was very excited to go to music every day.
I'm glad.
Great to hear.
When they had it. Yeah.
Great to hear. Okay. Well, with that being said, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Welcome, Mrs. Potts. All right. Subject H, the hiring of Jessica Dotson, North Elementary Reading Specialist. I need a motion to approve the hiring of Jessica Dotson as the North Elementary Reading Specialist, effective beginning with the 2026-2027 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189-1230B requirements.
So moved.
Corey and Jackie. Any discussion?
She's here.
Welcome.
Wow.
Yes, welcome. So
Welcome.
happy to have you.
Yes.
This has been a long time coming, this position. So,
I'm very excited. I'm barely graduated from here, so we're moving.
All right.
So we can be more.
oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Welcome home.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes. Great. Okay,
Awesome.
let's make it formal. All in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Welcome.
Thank
All right. Okay, subject I, hiring of Sandra Yant, middle school playground aide. I need a motion to approve the hiring of Sandra Yant as the playground aide at the middle school, effective beginning with the 2026-2027 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189-1230B requirements. Okay, Barb and Iggy. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Is Mrs. Potts here? Or, I'm sorry,
She's not.
is she not? Okay.
No.
Mrs. Yant?
No.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Welcome to the team, though. All right. Subject J, teacher probationary status for the 2026-2027 school year. I need a motion to grant probationary status to the attached list of teaching staff for the 2026-2027 school year.
Motion.
Jackie. And Mike, got it. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. All right. Subject K, approval of athletic recreation center furniture purchase. I I need a motion to approve the purchase of the furniture through the competitively procured purchasing program for the Athletic Recreation Center
Fancy.
and to accept a bid from Do EI Corporation from Holland, Michigan in the amount of $50,594.78.
Motion.
Duel, is that how you say it? Okay. Did you say motion, Iggy?
Motion.
Okay,
Who supported?
You.
Okay.
Corey? Any discussion?
No, this is the one that, or we passed that window, I'm sorry, there's a lot going on, I didn't get a chance to write down, for to keep the lower price,
We can still get it in for the lower price.
okay.
We just need it approved
Before
Today.
pretty much today. Unless you guys want to come back next week.
Okay,
But yeah,
all right.
as soon as you guys approve it, I will send it off. So we can sign up and send it off to them tonight.
As I said earlier, I had reached out to Mrs. Epler Baldwin and asked for clarification on that, and I shared her response to everybody on the board via email right after I received it, so everybody would have clarification on this. So that was, it's pretty self-explanatory. So
Yes, it moved really quick.
yeah,
As opposed to anything else that we do
What do
usually
we-
takes weeks.
What do we do with the old stuff?
It'll be repurposed. It'll go somewhere. We're just not sure exactly where.
Okay,
It was
It's going in
donated
the
from a
trash.
student that passed.
it's pretty new,
It was pretty,
some of the
No.
chairs and stuff, seating look like it's new. That's why I was asking.
The tables are in the, right when you walk in front of the, where you check in. Those circular tables were donated, from my understanding, from a student here from class of 2000. It was like Kylie Ely's class, I think it was. What, like 2003 or 4 that passed away in an accident. His family donated it, so we're gonna be very strategic on where they go. We are not getting rid of it because of that reason. Yeah,
That's all I had.
Yeah.
Thank you.
okay. After all the discussion, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay. Subject L, the adoption of the 2025-2026 financial budgets for general fund, food service, recreation fund, sinking fund, and student activity. I need a motion to adopt the general fund, food service, recreation fund, sinking fund, and student activity budgets for the 2025-2026 fiscal year.
Motion.
Mike. Any discussion? Any questions? Do you have any questions? If you do, right now would be the time. Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, subject M, adoption of the 2026-2027 general fund, food service, recreation, sinking fund, and student activity budgets. I need a motion to adopt the proposed general fund, food service, recreation, sinking fund, and student activity fund budgets for the 2026-2027 school year.
Motion.
Jackie. And Mike. Any discussion on that? All right, hearing none, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. I understand that we were gonna go into closed session right here, but out of respect for our admin,
yes.
I would think it's probably appropriate not to make them sit here. I don't think it would be fair to you guys. I would love to do that first, but is everybody okay with that? We can honor their time.
Yes, okay. Jody,
No, I fully agree.
you wanna go first? Do you have anything to share?
He's like, what?
You don't have to do all your reports that you just did at the cow.
Again, we talked about some of it, so the concrete we identified, once we get the trees out, a number of areas up front that we need to put concrete out. We're gonna do that. So they got the fence in, that company got the fence in yesterday, I think it was yesterday. They got the gravel down. They still have yet to turf it. They got to do that all by July 1st. So that's gonna get done either over the weekend or early next week, so. We had a couple trees in the courtyards, the wind blew over. We had Miles cut those out yesterday. Those are gone. And there's a number of dead trees still at so that we gotta get out. In addition to the ones you already took out. So that's all I got.
And we're gonna add Miles some additional into his contract to do the weeds in the front. It's driving me bananas.
Walk into the gym again without taking care of them.
Did you hear him? I don't know if I can walk into the gym again without taking care of it myself. Yeah, they're killing me too. Every time I pull in the parking lot, I'm like,
We'll be working on that.
awesome. Yes,
I'm not playing for it.
I don't need flowers. I'm over it. We don't have any hoses to water them.
That is, an issue over at North where the garden is.
Yeah,
Water.
Yeah.
yeah. We can just take the water from the buckets that are being filled in the hallways and go and water. Go
My mother-in-law.
repurpose.
She brings gallon jugs
Oh my
to
gosh.
water from Woodhaven.
Jeez. All right, thank you, Mr. Dunn. Jody?
Yeah, please.
Okay,
Have you hang out for a minute?
remain seated, sir. Deb, you did your budget. Do you have anything else to add? You did a wonderful job. Thank you for everything. Ms. Crossley? You can stay seated if you'd like. Yeah,
Always stand up. No, please.
yes.
Okay, I just want to thank everybody at the high school and the entire district for the year we just had. It ended so smoothly and everything was wonderful and everybody worked so hard. So I'm just really appreciative that I get to work with such an amazing group of people. Summer school is happening right now. Actually, today is the last day of the first session. Second session starts the week after the 4th of July. We have some kids who are earning back some credits they may have missed out on during the school year. And now they will be able to get caught up, be back on track, and so that they can start out the new school year with a fresh start, clean slate, where they're supposed to be, and move forward. And I have to thank Jody Brooks for that. She is very good at she meets with all of these at-risk kids one-on-one. She calls them down, she goes over things with them. She is amazing with keeping our kids on track. We have, as we've talked about a little bit, our new hires, Mr. Giamarusi, I'm gonna mess it up now, I've never messed it up before. Mr. Giamarusi in science, so he's very knowledgeable and he's going to help build up our science department. So we're really excited and pleased to have him with us. Ms. Lipto in social studies will be Miss Janot when she returns, so Mrs. Janot. So when you see Mrs. Janot, that's Ms. Lipto. And she is bringing back our AP US history course in the fall, so we're so excited to have that back.
That is great.
So that's amazing. Miss DeSilva's that we talked about is back at JHS. She graduated from here, if you don't know Kim and Jim. And she started her teaching career here for 23 years. They're on vacation tonight. I talked to her a little bit, so they're not back yet, so they should be here tonight. And then some changes in the high school. Mrs. Groovy has left English. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It makes me a little sad. But she is filling in our second counselor role, which is amazing. She's actually going back to school to do this for our kids. And so as much as we will miss her in English, what she will provide to our entire student body this way as the second counselor is amazing. We're just so lucky. She's already working on things and planning for things. And she's, Ms. Ruby, she's just amazing with kids. She's a great support. So we're very lucky to have her as the second half of our counseling staff. And then Miss Perry, we've had a need for special ed in high school. We've had an opening for special ed, and she asked if she could also go back to school and take on some special ed support, do some special ed support. So she in the fall will be half-time Spanish, half-time special ed. So she's still teaching Spanish and still planning the trip, but she's also going to be able to provide extra support for our kids who need it. And if you know Mrs. Perry in the classroom, she is amazing at modifying, at breaking things down, at figuring out what each kid needs to learn to be successful. So she is going to be a huge asset to our special ed team.
That is awesome.
She's great. Great teacher.
Yes, I was like, I love, yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, I missed her now. I'm sorry. I am Mr. Neto. Don't I look like him?
Yeah.
Mr. Neto is at the John Glenn Wrestling Meets or something. I'm saying it wrong. It's called something. Duels, thank you. Yes, and so his apologies for not being able to be here this evening, but he asked for me to present on his behalf. So the board meeting notes for Jefferson Middle School is that they partnered with a local nonprofit, the Bloom Project, to provide summer care packages for students. Additional care packages were assembled by Angie Dunn and Jackie McCullough. Open house has been scheduled. An event page has been created to keep families informed and engaged. We are excited to welcome several new staff members along with North Elementary staff transitioning to JMS with our incoming fifth graders. We continue to support a smooth transition for our incoming fifth grade students and families through ongoing communication. Bosco is working hard on his manners and is scheduled to complete his therapy dog evaluation in August. And we are looking forward to summer while continuing to share staff introductions, Bosco pup dates, upcoming events, and more on our social media pages. Thank you, JMS. Ms. Rosecrans.
Sure. Mine tonight is just a bunch of thank yous. I wanted to thank, first and foremost, we'll start with Tanya Kopp, who ran a really incredible field day this year. I kind of came to her and said, Tanya, I really want us to amp it up. Like, I really want to make sure that we have a great event. She said, Vanessa, I really need to make sure we have volunteers. I've never seen so many parents and families at our building. Usually we see a ton at Student of the Month assemblies, but we had so many volunteers, and I think the kids had an incredible day. We had some bounce houses. We had a great time. We had the dunk tank, which I was featured in a couple times. It was freezing, but it was a lot of fun. The kids had a blast. So I wanted to make sure that I thanked her. And I have to thank Kennedy as well. Kennedy really partnered, my secretary partnered with Tanya to make sure that that could go off without hitch. So that was fantastic. Heidi Nolan and Kim Slan came in on a day's notice to interview many great applicants for our reading interventionist position, our reading specialist rather position. And I just want to thank them. They're so dedicated and so willing to do everything that we need to make our school great. So very grateful to partner with them. Dawn Little did a really fantastic job at the end of the year, as she does all year long, making sure our final testing went well, and also doing some end of the year celebrations with students. Social work team knocked it out of the park. Alyssa West has been working really hard to do some mental health awareness and some wellness week things. And she did a really cute end of the year. Jen, I don't know if Jen Wendell, did you post that on our Facebook page? It was a really cute video with some of our staff that is leaving to go to JMS and interviewing some of our students about what they will miss about North and what they miss about, our staff and our team. So that was fantastic. Have to give a big shout out to our custodial team and the maintenance team, moving a lot of classrooms this year. We continue to try to make sure that we're really functional and that we're meeting the needs of students and staffing in terms of classroom spaces and teaming. So they've been fantastic with me as I've said, hey, we're going to move one more thing and we're going to move this classroom here and this teacher there. And so that's been fantastic. Zane's been great as well, helping out with all the tech pieces and making sure that that transition to the middle school is great. Shout out to Ryan Netto. He's been great to work with as well as we moved some of our kiddos over to the middle school. So just a big shout out to the team. It's been a fantastic year. Happy to be here, happy to be a Bear, and really proud of the team and all the work we've done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tara.
Good evening, everyone. Same thing, really just kind of wrapping the year up. A big thank you to our staff and for our families. We did our annual family picnic again this year, and we had a great turnout. It was warm, but everybody seemed to have a really good time. And a big thank you to Alicia Simpson and Mops. Her team is always so fantastic. Anything that I've asked this past year, they're able to accommodate us early in the morning, later in the afternoon, or the evening. So a big thank you to them. Again, a thank you to our staff for just being flexible with some different changes with field day. Mrs. Pendergart, our teacher, really helped plan that and get all of our volunteers along with our classroom teachers reaching out to family members as well. So we had a nice turnout with that. I wanted to actually tell Vanessa thank you on behalf of our staff. We just love working with you when we're handing our little first graders off. Like, we get so connected to them because most of them we've had since, if we're lucky enough to have them since GSRP preschool or tuition based. and we just really get attached to them, even our passionate ones, and we just miss them and their families. So she has been so kind to take all of our, I don't want to say accommodations, but all of our suggestions in mind when building classrooms and what friends really work well together and other ones you're like, you might not want to have those together. So she has been so great to work with since she's gotten here. She's just so good at just listening and trying to keep things as smooth as possible so it's an easy transition for our first grade students and their families. Because like I said, so many of them have been with us and we're gonna miss them. So thank you, Vanessa, for always hearing us out and listening to us. And then what else? Oh, our schedule is almost done for next year, so that is thank God that's almost done. So we're excited about that. And then just looking at enrollment, our numbers specifically for kindergarten are higher going into the fall than they were last year. So I'm super excited for that. And we'll have a full section, so we'll have our 2 young 5 classrooms back, all 4 kindergarten classrooms back, and all 4 first grade. So that's it. That's it from me. Thank you.
Great news.
Yeah.
Great news. Great.
Yep. All right. Very good.
That's it? You're
Yeah.
good?
Yes, I was long enough.
Okay. All right. With that being said, we're gonna cut everybody out of here early. I need a motion to move to close session for the purpose of negotiations for section 8C of the Michigan Open Meetings Act. Motion, Jackie. And was that Nick?
Yep.
All right. And Ms. Lancaster, could I get a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Yeah, Ms. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Pajaro?
Yes.
Mrs. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
And Mr. Pfeiffer?
The time is 6:37. We will take just a couple minutes recess. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Oh, my knees. Is that on mute? Yep, mute that for a minute. Thank you.
Well, no, we